Tina and I am back, and I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe. If you're also back, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again. But if you're new and maybe you like what you see, please consider subscribing. We have tons of fun here on this channel talking about makeup and all things beauty, and I'm so excited for this video, guys. I have been holding out because I had to make two separate orders. I picked up a few things from the new launch of Marc Jacobs in Sephora. I'm so excited to see this brand finally make its way back to the line. Thank you so much. Bring fun back into makeup. So I picked up a few of these products, but the eyeshadows were completely sold out. So I originally did a video with just the bronzer, the cheek products, the lip products, and the mascara, right? Because I was like, I'm just gonna hold out and see what happens with the eyeshadows. I'll do a follow-up video if needed. But then as I was filming that video, I was checking and talking about the products. I was checking the Sephora website. Lo and behold, the eyeshadows were back in stock. So I went ahead and ordered those, and I waited for them to come in so I could do like a full video. So I scrapped the other video. So some of the products I already wore and tested and tried out. So I have a better feel for them, not first impressions. But the eyeshadows and the eyeliners are first impressions. But I wanted to do like a full video with swatches and up close views and talk through the branding and the packaging and all that in one full video, even though it may be long. So that's what we're doing in this video, right? We're going to apply the products to our face, talk you through the information, the details, show you the swatches and up close of the packaging, and then do the application and give you my thoughts of the formulation, how they perform, how they apply, and how they wear based on my experience so far. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'm not gonna blab anymore because like I said, the video is long. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, guys, so let's jump into it. I already applied my moisturizer, my brows, and my eyeshadow base and primer because we're gonna jump right into these products. I am so excited to try out these products with you guys, specifically the eyeshadows, because I've already tested the bronzer and the lip products as well as the cream blushes. So these aren't my first impressions of those, but for the eyeshadows, it definitely is. I actually filmed a whole video before with the other products and then ended up having to scrap it because lo and behold, as I was reading the information on the products online, I saw that the eyeshadows were back in stock and I was able to pick them up. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just scrap that video, start all over, and have like the full collection in front of me, sans the highlighter, because the highlighter is definitely a no-go for me. And I want to start out by talking about the overall feel of the brand and the packaging because there has been some discourse about it, and honestly I am probably in the minority when I say I love it. I love it. I don't care how chintzy these little compacts look. I don't care how loud the packaging is. I think it fits with Marc Jacobs. The Marc Jacobs Daisy fragrances are loud and obnoxious with flowers and butterflies everywhere. So I personally think it's cute. And as with anything, it's up to the individual how they feel about the packaging, right? You may look at this and be like, that is so gauche. Oh my God, it's so childish. I cannot. Well, I can. So overall, I love the packaging. All the boxes are this beautiful, it's almost like a lemon lime yellow. It's not truly full-on primary yellow. There's a little green to it, but it's not green at the same time. It's like a lemon lime. So all the boxes are this color. The print is in silver, and then on the back you have black writing, which is great for reading against such bright packaging. Hong Van Gogh, I love your packaging, but I'm gonna need you to take cues from Marc Jacobs. You can do bold, colorful packaging. Just make sure we can read what's on the packaging. Oh my God. So the boxes look like this, right? All the details are on the boxes, ingredients, manufacturing details, size, and all that, right? And then it comes to the actual packaging of the products. And I'll go through each of them individually as we use the products. So let's start out with the eyeshadows because that's first in line for me. So these are the Born Star Cream. Let me actually read the box because I hate that Sephora adds SEO terms to the name of the product and it's not the actual name. So on the box, this is the Born Star Cream to Powder Shadow. We have 0.05 ounce, which is the size of a typical average size eyeshadow on the market. retails for $29 a pop, which is steep. It is expensive for a single eyeshadow. It's not completely outlandish, but I don't like that price point at all. You're talking about $30 for a small eyeshadow. It's not like a super-sized, oversized eyeshadow like his previous ones were. Do you guys remember these? I had to pull out my old ones. So the old eyeshadow packaging, these were the Omega eyeshadows, the singles from him. He also had palettes that were like an elongated palette. I'll pop it in here. And I believe there were 6 shades in each of those, or 7. I didn't love the formulation of those palettes. I don't know why, looking back at it. I think they had more of a luxurious formula in that they were buildable rather than intense all at once. And back then I was into intense. I wasn't really into subtle. I think nowadays I would have really enjoyed that formula. And the thing is, I collected almost all of those palettes, but I just didn't fall in love. So I don't even know how much product was in these eyeshadows, but it's obviously a lot more than this. And the price point was about similar, I'm thinking. I don't remember. But I love these little doodads from back in the day. I saved a couple of the shades because I did love that formula a lot. I actually loved most of the formulations from the old Marc Jacobs line. And I know this is completely new because they're under Coty now, which is a larger brand. I'm gonna start applying the eyeshadow and we'll talk about the details and all that. So the shade I'm going in with is On Brand. There are 2 different finishes. So we have matte shades and metallic shades. It says here these are a buildable, long-lasting, waterproof cream to powder eyeshadow with high pigment color and 14-hour crease-proof and smudge-proof wear. Well, I already applied eyeshadow primer. I'm not gonna test that at all, but I don't think these are gonna necessarily be crease-proof for someone like me. I have very oily lids. Cream eyeshadows don't last on me without creasing unless I use a primer ahead of time. Now, since these are cream to powder, I'm gonna use a synthetic brush. This is my Real Techniques brush to really work the product in. So it picks up on the brush. Let's see if that will build it up. I'm using this kind of as a transition shade. I feel like this shade in particular could be an all over shade for me, just all over the lid. It is not really doing much. If I'm honest with you, this is not really doing much. So they did a consumer test with 114 participants ages 24 to 64. And here are the results from daily product use. 14-hour crease-free wear. I'm gonna have to test that out. The crease-free business, I feel like that's not gonna be true, but all right, 14-hour. 90% one-stroke color payoff. You're lying. One stroke of what? Because I am here building this up. Maybe because it's my skin tone that it's not showing up. Whatever. And 99% said it's smooth, non-gritty application. They also found the formula to be flake proof, smudge proof, and fade proof, have no fallout application. And in an instrumental test, waterproof and humidity proof, ophthalmologist tested, suitable for contact lens wearers and sensitive eyes. Now, I need this to be true because my eyes get so irritated, especially lately. I've just been having a nightmare with eyeshadows. Every time I film a video, I want to cry because my eyes are so irritated from some kind of fallout on my lids. I just realized that my mic wasn't plugged in, so the sound quality is going to change a little bit. I'll try to adjust it as best I can so it's not too obvious. All right, so this shade now is Hater 130. And I should show you the shades up close and personal while I give you some more details. So this says, Born Star features a bouncy, buttery cream to powder texture for seamless, no fallout application. This flake-proof, smudge-proof formula blends effortlessly for high-impact or soft-focus looks, setting to a smooth, soft powder finish. It's available in matte, metallic, and duochrome shades and housed in a unique star-shaped swivel compact. And the packaging is indeed that star shape, but it's in the design of a mylar balloon. You know those foil balloons that you get for parties and birthdays and all that good stuff? So it almost looks like a blown up balloon. You see it? Even with the little creases, I think the attention to detail was so well done. The Marc Jacobs logo is embossed in the front, and on the back you have a color-coded label matching the shade inside. It gives you the shade details, manufacturing details, size and information, and these have an intended usage life of 12 months, and they are made in Italy. I picked up 2 matte shades, one metallic and then one of the duochromes. So 100 on brand, which is the shade I used first, is a matte nude. The shade I'm using now is 130 Hater, which is a matte chocolate brown. They also have 2 medium tone browns included, but I wanted to try out the formulation first, so I figured let me pick up the lightest shade and the deepest shade of matte, see how I like it, and then figure out if I want the other nudes, but all the mattes are nudie browns. Then we have the metallic shade, which seems to be very popular. This is the shade Spicy. It's sold out again. It's 150 Spicy, and it's a metallic copper. And then the duochrome I grabbed is 210 Clapback. This one is a pink and bronze duochrome, and this is not a special duochrome. We've seen these shades before. This shifts between bronze and pink. There's a little bit of yellow gold to it as well, and we're going to use both shades to see how they look on the lids. The dark brown is applying really nicely. I actually like that shade quite a bit. Because I have to use like a stiffer, denser brush with these, I feel like it's getting away from me. My natural hair brushes aren't really picking it up because of the formula. So just be mindful of that. Of course, you can use any brush that you find works for you, or use your fingers, but I'm just going in with synthetic brushes from Morphe. I'll tell you right now, once they get onto the lids, they blend really nicely. See how that color kind of just sweeps across? So I do like the blend of the shade once it gets on the lid. So back to the packaging. In addition to it being that beautiful Mylar balloon star shape, it also has a swivel hinge, so you don't pop it open like a regular compact. And there is no mirror in the lid, which I appreciate packaging without mirrors these days. I feel like we've overdone it with the mirrors. We need to stop putting mirrors in products that make no sense, like packaging that makes no sense. What am I gonna do with a mirror in this? What? How? What? It's not going to be usable, so just stop putting it in because consumers are expecting it. I think we need to manage consumers' expectations a little bit more and let them know what they don't need, because I promise you, if they don't get a mirror in each and every product that they pick up, they'll be fine, because they have an existing mirror somewhere in their collection, either with another product or they have a standalone mirror. They will be fine. They will survive. Show them what they can do without. All right? Now, moving on to the shimmer shades. So we have Spicy, which is a copper, and it's actually more of a bronzy shade than a full-on copper. Copper to me usually leans very warm. Okay, I take that back. It is definitely warm. It has like an orange appeal to it. All right, it is copper. Definitely not true bronze. And this is applying really well with just a regular brush. Oh, that's nice. Now, it can get crepey if you layer on too much because it's that cream to powder, but it blends out really nicely. The metallic finish goes away a little bit as you blend it out. It kind of fades away. Oh, let me zoom in so you can see. So you see the metallic intensity kind of fades. Let's now go in with Clapback, which is the duochrome. I am so surprised that these eyeshadows are selling out so quickly. Again, based on the price, but also I'm not surprised because it's Marc Jacobs. Everybody wants to try out the new line, the new product. Oh, that is pretty, but they're not high shine metallics, which I like, but you may not like that. You may want something more shiny, more impactful. These are definitely more subtle. So here is the Clapback shade. You see it's kind of muted. The duochrome is definitely there, but it's more muted, understated. And then the Spicy shade also more muted. Let's see if I dampen my brush, if that changes anything. Cream to powder. So no fallout, nothing errant going in my eyes, which is great. Applying them with a damp brush definitely picks up the metallic sheen a little bit more. But that is across the board for any eyeshadow, so I don't feel like these are special in that way. But so far I am liking the finish and the application of the shimmers. The mattes, again, you have to kind of maneuver them with the right brush. I feel like both of the shades that I picked up are fitting my kind of vibe right now, and I love that these aren't overly glittery or sparkly. The only shade that has not sold out from what I see is the silver, because honestly, not everybody wants silver in their makeup. Silver is a difficult shade to wear. It's not a shade that everybody gravitates towards, but of course the other shades are getting sold out, like the champagnes, the bronzes. But there's a pink, another duochrome that's a blue and purple, and there's a yellow gold. I think the yellow gold also didn't sell out. I'm surprised the pink is selling out. I mean, pink is a fun color, so it's more wearable than a silver. So that kind of makes sense. I'm now mixing the shades so that they make sense in a cohesive look. I just wanted to show you the two shades separately so you can get a vibe for how they look. Mixing them, really easy, really beautiful. All right, I'm gonna see if I can build up the outer V a little bit more with the dark brown. If not, I can use another shade from my collection. What I really wanna put here is a purple. You know what, maybe I will go in with a purple just to deepen up the outer V a little bit. But here's the look with just the Marc Jacobs eyeshadows. Let me show you that again. So the dark brown is not like really stark dark brown. I feel like these browns are really blendable, so you will have some time to work with them. It's not setting down harshly at all. I feel like the mattes are an effortless formula that a beginner would like, because like I said, they kind of blend really well once they're down on the skin. But I'm gonna add a couple more things to the eyeshadow and be back to do the mascara. All right, we are back and it is time to do the mascara. So what I did on my eyes is I went in with a deeper, darker purple. It's an OG. I feel like pulling out the OGs now. This is from Stila back in the day. The shade is Dahlia. I love this. Such a beautiful matte-like kind of dusty purple. And I felt like it would go with this look over a dark brown. And it worked perfectly. So the matte dark brown, like I said, from Marc Jacobs, it's cute, but it's not going to necessarily give you the depth and richness you may be expecting from it, which can be seen two ways, right? As a beginner, you may like that because it allows you to blend and not really get color that's too pigmented, overwhelming on your eyes or anything, right? But if you're looking for depth and richness, like I typically do, this may not be perfect for you. But for me, I actually like having both options around, because if I'm going for a softer look, I can use a dark brown like that. So I appreciate the formula and the blendability. Just know that you will need to use a denser brush to apply these in like a concentrated area, especially if you're trying to like build a crease color or blur out color. A fluffy natural hair brush won't work because it won't pick up the product as well. You'll have to use synthetic. And then for the shimmers, they apply as any other shimmer would, either with your finger or with a shader brush or a dampened shader brush, but the shimmer won't be intense and impactful. You see what I'm saying? That's my 2 cents on the eyeshadows. And I'll wrap up with my final thoughts, but I want to give you my thoughts as I'm going through it. Now we have I'm gonna read the packaging again. So this is the Marc Jacobs Flashes Volumizing Mascara. This has an intended usage life of 12 months and it is made in the UK. The packaging is another star-shaped package. This one retails for $29 again. So the eyeshadows and the mascara are $29. It contains 0.22 ounce of product, or 6.6 milligrams, and there are 3 different shades available. We have Onyx, which is the black, cocoa, which is a chocolate, and indigo, which is an electric blue. And I like that they have those different options available. I feel like it coincides with the vibe of the line because we have colorful liners, we have colorful eyeshadows. It makes sense to have at least a colorful mascara included. The brown is kind of a trend right now to have, and it's good to have in any collection because not everyone wants rich black lashes. And then we have, of course, the usual black. So here it says a lash by lash volume mascara delivering panoramic definition with up to 18 hours of smudge-proof, flake-free wear. It is volumizing, lengthening, hydrating, and long-wearing. The highlighted ingredients are peptide and clover flower extract, which is a conditioning blend that nourishes lashes, leaving them soft and healthy. It says here, offering buildable volume, this lash-defining mascara can be layered for customizable looks, from natural to fuller, more bold, dramatic results. With clump-free application, it removes easily, no rubbing or tugging. I love that. The hourglass shaped brush delivers the perfect amount of product, lifting, separating, and coating each lash from root to tip. Available in black, brown, and blue shades, this Marc Jacobs mascara is housed in a star-shaped lilac tube with a metallic star charm. So they had an instrumental test, whatever that means, where they noticed 8 times more volume, 38% more lavish length, and up to 18-hour wear. Ophthalmologists tested again and suitable for contact lens wearers and sensitive eyes. The consumer test with 100 participants from 18 to 55 with daily product use says 94% said the product provides defined volume, 95% said their lashes looked lengthened, 89% said the product is buildable on lashes, and in tests, 97% of the product looks long wearing and clump free formula with all day wear, all day flake proof. I don't know what that means. The product looks long wearing, what I mean. Anyway, lilac star packaging as they mentioned with the Marc Jacobs logo embossed again along the side of the tube. And on top we have that mylar star balloon that is also a lilac color. I like the packaging. I think it's fun. Again, the lilac color also makes it stand out in your collection. On the bottom you have the label with the product information and all the manufacturing details and the shade. And of course they said we have a hourglass shaped brush, but this is nylon bristles or plastic bristles. These are not the boar style bristles. So we're gonna go ahead and apply this to the lashes. Let me zoom on. Ooh, girl, I'm zooming all the way in. So let's see how this applies. Like I said, I already tried this mascara out. I wore it out. I did not have any flaking or any smudging. And at the end of the night, it did truly remove easily. Not as easily as a fiber mascara or a tube-in mascara that comes off with warm water. But my regular oil cleanser and face wash took this off easily, and I didn't have a ton of residue left behind. My favorite mascara is from Huda Beauty, and that takes some elbow grease to get off. At the end of the night, I do have to do some scrubbing to get it off. This came off a lot easier, so I will say that for this formula. Now, they do say you get defined volume, but I will warn you about layering this product. If you keep going, especially now when it's a new tube, the formula is still a little bit wet. So what I find is my lashes do clump together. They said defined volume. There is volume, it is defined. It's not the most voluminous mascara I've ever tried, but I wouldn't kick it out of bed. However, I don't think it's necessarily buildable because as I build it, again, my lashes start to kind of clump together. So right now, looks nice and separated, right? And the formula leaves your lashes feeling soft, which I appreciate. So here is the before, plain old lashes, and here's the after. And I have pretty decent lashes. I don't have a problem with length and curl. What I do look for is volume and va va voom. Again, not the most voluminous mascara I've ever tried. So let's just go ahead and apply it to the other lash. And I will also add that the brush is not spiky or uncomfortable. Some mascara ones can be uncomfortable against your lash line. So as you're applying the product, it kind of pokes around and can cause irritation to your eyes. So I like that this is a comfortable formula. And another thing I will note is when I used it before, I had smudged a bit of it on my skin. And once it dried down, it removed so easily, so effortlessly. It just came off without smudging and ruining the makeup under it. So I also appreciate that about the formula. The black is a beautiful black, and like I said, the formula does definitely feel soft and hydrating. So there it is with both eyes done. And I hope you can see the difference, right? This definitely adds volume, definitely adds length and definition. But like I said, I don't feel like it's a lash by lash separation like they said. It's nice, but it's not the best at separating lashes. I feel like I do have to go in with a lash comb to get the separation that I normally go for. I might have to zoom in and show you in a bit how the lashes kind of lump together, but we're gonna leave it at that. Another thing I'm going to note is that all the eye products seem to have that star shape to them because the eyeliners also have the star decal on them. So here are the liners. These are the Drawn This Way Long Wear Eyeliner. These retail for $26 and they contain 0.04 ounce of product or 1.2 grams. Again, beautiful lime green packaging or lime yellow, whichever way you want to slice it. And we have two finishes. We have matte and metallic. I feel like they're gonna tell me duochrome, but there are a ton of shades available. So we have the usual culprits, the black and the brown. There's even a gray and a dark blue, but we also have colorful shades in matte. So we have yellows and blues, which is what I went ahead and picked up. I picked up 3 mattes, so I have the standard black, the yellow, and the blue. Ooh, love those. And then for the metallics, I picked up 1 shade just because I don't wear eyeliner as much, so I didn't want to overdo it. 4 is overdoing it, I know, but I picked up 1 of the shimmer shades, which is Unhinged, and this one is the turquoise shade. The packaging is one of those, not wooden pencils, but it's a sharpenable pencil. So back in school, we used to call these the candle pencils, where it's not plastic, it's not wood, but it's like almost a hybrid of the two. So you do still have to sharpen these. These aren't twist up. I think his last formula were twist up and they dried out easily, but that formula was stellar. It was really well done. They lasted well on the lash line. But like I said, this is now a different brand altogether. You have to look at it that way. It's moved owners, so the formulations are not gonna move over. Coty won't get the formulas that Marc Jacobs was using when they were under the LVMH brand. They were under the Kendo brand, similar to Kat Von D and Fenty Beauty. Now they've moved over, they've been sold, right? Marc Jacobs is still around. But think about it, the formulas are moving with them. All the designers, the formulators, all the creative heads behind the brand are no longer the same under this new brand. They may have got a couple of the oldies over there, but it's not the same team. So the whole vibe, the formulations, all of those, you can't think about the old formulas too much. You just have to rely on what they're doing now, okay? So don't think about the old Marc Jacobs, think about it now. But I still expect the formula to be good because they were really good back in the day. They were one of the best. So it says here, a high impact, long lasting, waterproof gel eyeliner with intense pigment for precise winged and cat eye looks and 24-hour smudge proof wear. So again, let's read the details. Drawn This Way gel pencil eyeliner features a creamy, highly pigmented, blendable formula with 1-stroke color payoff and smudge time before setting. Long wearing, waterproof, and fade resistant, it glides on smoothly for precise tug-free application. Perfect for the waterline, smoky eyes, or bold graphic looks. This sharpenable eyeliner is available in 21 different shades across matte, metallic, glitter, and duochrome finishes and is encased in a color matched barrel with a statement star charm on the top. Like I said, Sephora says matte and metallic, but I knew they were gonna mix it up and tell me something else. So I have 3 mattes and 1 glitter, as I said before. And they did a consumer test again. So 140 participants, ages 18 to 65 with daily product use. I love that they use multiple participants. Like they're using 100, 140. It's not just the typical, oh, 35 people or 20 people. Like they're using a large sample size. So I like that as well. Because when you have a larger sample size with different ages and skin types, I think you'll get better feedback that way. So in this consumer study, 99% say the product doesn't tug during application. That's great. 98% say the product provides intense color in one stroke. 95% say the product is smudge proof. 94% say the product provides long lasting effect and it's fade resistant. In an instrumental test, they have 24-hour wear, waterproof, ophthalmologist tested, suitable for contact lens wearers and sensitive eyes. I am hoping that is true, Marky. I am hoping it is true. So let's zoom back in and get to the eyes. So with all these shades available, you know what, let's just mix it up. So I already applied my foundation and concealer under my eyes and set that down so we don't have any issues. So let's try the blue. And you should have seen in the up close shots that the blue one actually broke off on me and I had to sharpen it. They're not easy to sharpen. And I use my sharpest sharpener and this was not really easy to sharpen. You see how ugly it looks now? But look at that blue. It applies so well. Hung Von Go makes a really good eyeliner formula as well. So I think eyeliner formulas are improving. But that blue is stunning, right? I think the real test is gonna be this yellow though. The blue one that I used is Take Notes, and again, matte finish. And then this yellow one is Hot Take. Let's see how this goes. Oh yeah. I mean, that yellow is on there, one stroke pigmentation. You know what? I'm gonna give it to you because with a yellow, you see that? You can see the yellow, right? You wouldn't expect the yellow to be that intense. They also have a white pencil. So I would be interested to see what that looks like. But the yellow and the blue, that is stunning. The blue is my favorite so far. All right, the yellow is also stunning, but how many times am I gonna wear a yellow like that? But I wanted to get the yellow because I feel like that will be a true test if the light shades apply well. Now let's go in with the glitter one and I'm gonna apply that on the lower lash line because if I put this in my eye, y'all gonna have to send for the doctors. So I applied that. It says I should have time to smudge this out, right? So I'm gonna go in with a smudger brush and see if that is true. All right. I mean, yeah, sure. Like, yeah, okay, a little bit. That's okay. That's okay. I feel like the glitter isn't the truest test of the smudge. So let's do the blue again, the matte blue, and see how this smudges. And then we can always go back in with the shimmer because I feel like the shimmer is a pretty addition to the look. Okay, so the blue definitely smudges out well. I don't know if you can tell, right? That blue is pretty, right? And the blue against the copper is giving me a vibe. But I want to try out the black because the black is going to be the one that I would wear the most. So let's go in with the black. I feel like I want to put the black on the inner lower lash line. My favorite black eyeliner right now is from Makeup by Mario. It's a really rich black and it lasts really well. But Marky, you may be a contender. The black glided on well. It's rich and pigmented. Oh yeah, it's smooth, creamy. All right, and I'm gonna go over here with the black because I gotta even this out. Let's see if the blue can go on top of the yellow without issue. I used to do dual color waterlines back in the day. You can check my blog, fact check me. But back in the day when we had the Laura Mercier and Inglot gel eyeliner pots, I used to do like a purple and a blue or like a different color on the waterline. So I'd have two different waterline colors and I thought that was such a pretty look. So let's smudge this out again. So far, except for the glitter shade. I feel like these apply really well. Pigmentation is good. The blend is there. Let's see how the black blends out, because I have some of the black on that inner lower lash line. Oh yeah. And that's giving a beautiful smoky effect. Oh, that's stunning. That is stunning. All right, the eyeliners, the matte ones are definitely getting full 10s across the board. I love them, and I'm gonna go in with the shimmer again over the blue, just because I wanna give this shimmer a chance. I don't think I'm gonna pick up any more of the shades, but let's see what that shimmer does, because it's pretty. You see how pretty it is? I just feel like because it has a glitter finish, it kind of almost blends away to nothing really easily. But it's stunning. It layers. Oh, ooh, you see? It's still pretty, like the pigmentation is there. So now with the lashes, I want to show you guys. You see how they kind of started clumping together so you can kind of count, right? The lashes, that's what I don't love. But we're gonna zoom back out. How long is this video already? You guys know I do long videos, but child, I'm gonna go ahead, change my outfit, do some lashes, and be back to do lips and cheeks. All right, we are back. I'm hoping the lighting, yeah, it's kind of acting funny. The lighting always just throws me off. Hold up. Hopefully that's better. We'll see while I'm editing. But now we have the other products, all right? So we're moving on to the cheek products and the lip products. So let's start out with the cream blushes, which, oh my God, these are really cute. They're very bulky, but cute. So these are the Joystick Balmy Blush Sticks. They retail for $35 a pop and contain 0.21 ounce of product, or 6 grams. They have an intended usage life of 18 months, which is actually great for a cream product, and they are made in Korea. You know what I always find interesting is when different products from the same brand are made in different factories and made in different locations, because that means they're mixing the best from each of those countries. Korea has great blush formulas, so they're incorporating that. When it comes to baked gelée, I think those are made in Italy, or is it France? One of them, right? But depending on your formulation, you will lean into different manufacturers at different locations for the best of the best. So the eyeshadows, where were those made? Italy. So that makes sense. Italy has that cream to powder formula, and then Korea has the cream blush formulas. So this says it's a lightweight creamy blush with buildable long-lasting color, seamless blendability, and a natural skin-like finish for effortless cheeks. It has hyaluronic acid to hydrate the skin, promoting softness and comfort, and daisy oil, which is actually quite fitting because, you know, Marc Jacobs daisy, we know all that, right? This one has antioxidant properties that provides a smooth, nourishing feel. It goes on to say the multi-use, non-comedogenic formula melts seamlessly into the skin and is infused with skin-loving ingredients, including hyaluronic acid, which we mentioned, for up to 12-hour hydrating feel. Easy to use and ideal for all skin types. It leaves lips and cheeks feeling soft and comfortable. Available in a range of shades in a signature yellow daisy design stick. The consumer test results again. Are you ready? 100 participants, which I love to see again. Age is 18 plus, so they didn't give an age range here. Daily use, 98% said it feels lightweight on the skin. 96% said skin does not look oily, and 99% say that it applies easily to the skin. In other consumer tests, 92% said the product melts seamlessly on the skin, heat, humidity, and sweat resistant, all-day hydration with no white cast. I don't know why they mentioned that since it doesn't have SPF. And in an instrumental test, up to 14 hours of wear. So I picked up 2 of the shades. I think for now, there's just a standard finish. There's no shimmer or anything. These are all like a creamy matte. So the packaging is that lime green daisy shape, and I don't remember if I already mentioned it, but all the eye products have that star design. So the compacts for the eyeshadows are a star, the eyeliners have a star on the silver cap, And then the actual mascara is a star shaped with the star charm on the top. Now for the cheek products, I think they're going to lean into the flower because both the bronzer and the cream cheek products have that daisy on top. Really cute, but very bulky. It's like a really thick daisy. I don't know that it needed to be this thick. That's what she said. But it is thick, silver label on the bottom, not color coded, but it has the shade name. And then on the top, like I said, we have that little mylar charm that is silver with the center being yellow. I would have loved if the center of the daisy was the color of the blush. Wouldn't that have been cute? Or have a color coded label so you can know the different shades. But I only picked up 2. I might pick up more just because the formula. Oh my God. So I am kind of showing my hand before I actually try these out. So I have 2 shades, like I said. I have Pink Kink, which is a intense fuchsia, and then I have Papa Don't Peach, which is a vibrant coral. These 2 shades. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see these in action. So what I'm going to do is apply each of these shades to my cheeks so you can see them individually, and then I'll mix them so the color kind of blends together. So I just swipe it on, and from the finish you can see it's like a creamy skin-like finish. It's not a draggy, tuggy matte. I've already applied my foundation. I didn't set it down, but this is the Rare Beauty foundation, which self-sets, so it dries down on its own. So I really didn't need to go. You know what? Let me see if I turn down the exposure a bit so you can see the shade a little better. This shade is a peachy shade, but it's a little bit on the lighter side, so it's not intense, and I love this shade for my skin tone. I've seen people with lighter skin tone use this shade as well, and they seem to really like it. So I think this shade is going to be a good shade for tan, medium, deeper tan, and even lighter skin, just based on who I've seen use it and how it looks on them. For me, it's a stunning, subtle summer color. Really pretty. And then the fuchsia shade, okay, Pink Kink, is a little bit more intense, and I'm gonna do the same thing. So the first thing I will note is that this glides on the skin. Again, I have foundation on and it's not dragging or tugging, but it's also not really greasy or too emollient where it feels too creamy, especially since I have oily skin. I don't need something that's too greasy on my skin. And it blends out really well. If you want to know the brush I'm using, it's from Make Beauty. It's their blending brush. But look how stunning that color is. I feel like the formula allows you time to work and build and blend, and it's such a good formula. I personally don't love blush sticks. I'm not the biggest fan, but I do love this on my cheeks. Now they're saying you can use it on the lips as well. I'm not going to do that because I don't need all that negativity in my, you know what, let me try. I'm gonna put the Papa Don't Peach on top. Let me see. You know what I would do with like a cream blush if I'm in a pinch? I would apply the color and then go over it with a gloss. And that color is actually pretty. Oh, that is actually pretty. All right, I'll give you that. So if you wanted to put it on the lips, I don't know about the comfort. I would always go in, it doesn't feel too drying. And then let me try out the pink one. And this is just testing it because we do have lip products, but let's just test how this would do if I wore it on. Oh, that's a pretty color. All right, whatever. So here's Pink Kink. Again, the blend, so pretty. And then on this side, the Papa Don't Peach, which is more on the lighter peach side. And we're gonna zoom out so you can see what that looks like. Do you see the color? So that's the pink and that's the peach. And I love both of these shades, which is why I'm like, maybe I will pick up a couple more shades, but I don't know which shades I would pick up. Once this goes in store, I might try out some more shades when I can swatch them and see how the colors look and how they look compared to each other, because obviously I don't need all the shades, but I like the formula a lot. Blendable, it stays in place. Like I said, I tested this out before, just scrapped the video, but the longevity is definitely there. The blendability is there. And what I also like is that you can apply these directly from the tube without any muss or fuss. Sometimes there are cream stick blushes that work better when you apply them on the back of your hand, or you apply them to a brush and then apply them to your face, because they can pick up the complexion product that you have down. I find that that is not the case for these blushes. They are stunning. So what I did is just mix the two shades. Y'all, by far, and I'm just gonna tell you some of the things because I don't need to wait for the end of the video. By far, I think my favorite product from the line would be the cream blushes, and I am tempted to get a couple more, like I said. So those are the blushes. And now that I'm trying it on the lips, they may not be that bad on the lips. All right, time for the bronzer, which to me should be the standout product, because Marc Jacobs was known for their bronzer back in the day. It was sleek black packaging. The packaging is definitely a 180, right? It went from sleek, kind of luxury, kind of sophisticated, to kind of gaudy and bold and big and, you know, kind of in your face. And to be honest, I love it either way because I love a little fun in my makeup. And I'll talk more about the overall vibe of the brand as we get into the end of the review, but let's just stick to the products for now. So here is the bronzer. Where's the box? Because Sephora and their foolishness. So this is the Legally Bronze Sculpt-In Bronzer. Of course, on Sephora, it's Legally Bronze Talc-Free Blurring Powder Bronzer, because they got to tell you all the search words, right? The trending words. There are 8 different shades available, and I picked up shade 35, which is medium plus. So this retails for $42, and it contains a net weight of 0.38 ounce or 11 grams. Shelf life of 24 months, which is really great. That's 2 years. And this was made in Italy as well. Like I said, there are 8 shades available. There are 3 deeper shades than I have right now. This is medium plus. So they do go up to a deep, and that deep looks nice, but I don't know how far it goes. The swatches actually look really good. So I would like to hear what people with deeper, richer skin tone have to say. I'm not going to speak for them, but the swatches look like they are promising. But I never trust the brand to give me accurate swatches anymore. I need to see it in person. So this is a long-lasting, lightweight face bronzer with a natural finish for an all-over sun-kissed glow or soft sculpted look, delivering up to 10-hour wear. It's a pressed powder with daisy oil again that has antioxidant properties that provides a smooth, nourishing feel. It says silky and velvety to the touch, Legally Bronze blends seamlessly into the skin for a blurring second skin finish. The talc-free buildable formula is patch-proof, fade-resistant, and sweat-proof. Infused with daisy oil and skin-loving ingredients, it conditions skin for a smooth, comfortable feel. Available in a range of beautiful shades, this bronzer is housed in a sculpted silver compact. And it doesn't say anything about the little daisy charm, but it does have that little charm on the front. Here we go with the consumer test with 119 participants, ages 18 plus, daily use. So they say up to 10-hour true color wear. 92% agree it has seamless application. 96% agree it does not look chalky on the skin. 94% say product texture is blendable and it gives a blurred soft focus effect. 98% agree that texture is silky smooth. 99% say it feels lightweight on the skin. And in an instrumental test, it's smudge, sweat, and fade proof. There's a lot of claims here with the formulations. I don't know how true they are, but we're gonna apply this. Like I said, I got the shade medium plus, and we're gonna just go right in. I'm using my Danessa Myricks brush. Like I said, it's in a silver compact. There is a mirror in this compact. It's larger, so that makes sense to have a mirror. Has the little daisy on the front. It has this kind of inflated feel again to the packaging. It's not flat, it's kind of bulky. Storing these are not gonna be the best because they do have like odd shapes to them, but I don't mind because they're really cute, right? So let me open this. Okay, there is a little divot here that you can open. So on the powder itself, it has the Marc Jacobs logo that's embossed, but that's gonna go away. Ooh, you want to come in? You want to come in and see that color? So here's my cheek without. Here it is with it on. Yeah, it seems a little cooler, right? But then as you apply it, it's a little bit warmer. Like, it's definitely a bronzer, not a contour on me. It's definitely not neutral or gray leaning. It's definitely adding warmth to the skin, and it's not trying to live in that bronzer kind of middle area necessarily that a lot of brands are trying to do in order to kind of circumvent their shade ranges and having to figure out like warm versus cool for different undertones. They just say, hey, you can use it as a bronzer or like a sculpting thing, you know, depending on the shade, and then they get away with it because now it doesn't need to be a bronzer, right? But I feel like bronzer and contour, they kind of get blurred on their own anyway, because on some undertones a bronzer shade may look like a contour on you or vice versa. So a bronzer and contour shades are very individual to me, and it also depends on your taste in makeup. Are you looking to bronze? Are you looking to contour? For me, I do like a bronzer. I'm not necessarily trying to warm up all my face, so I'm not going to sweep bronzer all over my face to add warmth. I'm going to use it in the areas that the sun would hit, right? But I'm using it also to shape my face. And this color, right? It's not too loud. It's not too dark, so it's very easy to apply. It's definitely smooth. Applying this, oh, the brush definitely helps too. This is the Nanessa Myricks Yummy Skin 1.0. The brush helps, but look at the result. Like, ooh, I think my skin looks really good with this on. This is probably one of my favorite formulas. So let me run down my formulas that I love. I love the Hung Von Go formula, the powder formula that he released, like with his original launch. I also love the Make Beauty formulation. I like the House Labs formulation. And now Marc Jacobs is a contender for powder formulations. And the shade, I think it's perfect because it is warm, like it's giving me bronze, right? It's not giving me, oh my God, this is a contour. It's definitely giving me a bronzer look. And paired with the blush, everything. Listen, I'm gonna need my Sephora VIB gift card to happen sooner rather than later, so I can indulge myself in a couple more of the blushes because I'm loving the blushes. Like I said, didn't powder my skin just yet. I powdered under my eyes. Now I'm gonna go in with my powder, which is just from Kosas, just to settle some of the shine across my skin. With the Wear Beauty foundation, oh, it's such a good foundation, guys. It sets everything, so I don't feel the need to go in with a bunch of powder to set anything. I just go in to kind of finish my skin and blur and blend everything together. And I think this is stunning. All right, we have lips next. So we do have to take this blush off, but I feel like the blush color actually feels comfortable. So if you wanted to use these on the lips, especially with like a lip balm or a lip gloss, go for it, because that actually applied and sat very well. Didn't feel dry on the lips at all. So these are the Heart On Care and Color lipsticks. We have 0.10 ounce of product, or 3 grams. These have an intended usage life of 18 months, and these are made in Italy. These retail for $34 a pop, and there are 15 different shades available. It says a luxury long-lasting lipstick with vibrant high-impact color payoff, moisturizing comfort, and a transfer-proof wear for smooth, beautifully defined lips. Hydrating and long wearing. We have hyaluronic acid as a hydrating ingredient that makes lips appear smoother and fuller. Cherry oil, which nourishes and softens the lips, leaving them conditioned for every wear. And biomimetic peptide that locks in moisture and supports lips' natural functions. This lipstick delivers rich, stay true color with a soft, dewy shine and up to 11-hour wear. The creamy texture glides on effortlessly, leaving lips smooth and comfortable. Lightweight and non-sticky, the 91% skincare-based formula keeps lips soft and hydrated all day. It's encased in signature heart-shaped packaging. The consumer test. So we have 108 participants again, ages 18 to 65 with daily product use, 11-hour hydrated lip feel, 91% skincare based, and 100% said the product is easy to apply. 98% said the product glides easily on the lips, 96% said the product applies evenly on the lips, and 94% said the product does not feel sticky. And then there's an instrumental test that says it adds 28% instant hydration, whatever that means. So I picked up 2 shades. As it says, these are in a heart-shaped packaging. So the tube itself is heart-shaped, which is really cute. This packaging, as well as the blush packaging, has a soft touch kind of velvety feel. I hope this doesn't deteriorate over time, but I will say the lime green on the blush sticks gets dirty really easily. These are dirty already. Doesn't look the best, but these are a deeper burgundy, so they won't get as dirty. And then the bronzer is more of a metallic finish, and it's plastic, right? Yeah, so this one is gonna be shiny. I don't see that it's gonna get fingerprinty though, because it's not that kind of finish. It's not like a mirror finish. It is shiny, but it's not really fingerprinty right now. And then the eyeshadows are a metallic too. So 2 different finishes, metallic versus like a soft touch feel. So I have 2 different shades of this, like I said. On the bottom of each of these, we have the shade name and manufacturing details. The only thing I would say is I need color coding on these. So it would be really nice if we had the same color coding like we have on the eyeshadows, where the label matches the color of the shade. If we had it on the blushes and on the lipsticks, because that would make it easier to pull out the shade that you're going for. But I mean, the shade name is on there, but girl, if I have poor eyesight, how am I gonna read those? But I picked up 2 nudes. So we have mainly nudie shades included, but we also have a purple, a pink, a red, and like some corally shades, some more muted shades, and like deeper, richer, vampy shades. I'm gonna start out with the shade that I had to pick up, and you guys are probably gonna be like, why did you get that? So this one is Glow Stick. I know everybody's getting Glow Stick because it's a warm fair beige, and I'm just gonna apply it so you can see the shade. It is definitely not a shade for me. Let me just show you what this crazy color looks like. Where am I going? Where am I going? Y'all come in and tell me where I'm going. Do I look crazy? Yes, I do. But this is a very comfortable formula. It doesn't look chalky or dry. But obviously I didn't get this to wear on its own, right? I would not wear this on its own. The tube twists up. It looks like one of those balmy lipsticks. It doesn't look like your typical bullet lipstick at all. It's slanted, and the application is pretty easy with this tube. I appreciate it, but blow job, ooh, blow stick, I mean. I know we're gonna get into that too, but blow stick, no ma'am. But just so you know, it's like a beige. It's definitely a beige shade on the pale side. And then I picked up Mutuals Only, which is 107. This is a deep warm brown. Now when it said warm, I thought this was gonna be a lot warmer than it turned out to be. So it's not truly caramelly brown. It's more of, yeah, it's a little warm, but to me, it reads a little rosy as well. These apply like a balm lipstick. They don't feel like a typical lipstick, which is where the long wear kind of throws me off, because I'm like, are you really long wearing? Because I don't feel like you will be. But I did wear this out on a date night, and they wore well for hours. And it's a very comfortable formula. Didn't feel drying at all. Definitely hydrating. Now, as far as like the 11-hour wear, I'm gonna eat, girl. I don't have time to be testing something for 11 hours. And for lip products, I don't mind reapplying, but this did sit on my lips really well. So here is the Mutuals Only, which is a nice shade, like for my complexion, right? It's nice. It's definitely nice. I don't think it's that special though. You know, unless there's a shade that you truly want, which Blow Stick is, Blow Stick, I said name, Blow Stick. Blow Stick is the shade that I would say is so unique, and that's what I would say. For these, the formula is good. And if there's a unique shade that makes sense for you to add to your collection, I don't think you can go wrong. Blow Stick is, for me, a shade that I can use to mix with deeper shades like this one. So you see, I lightened up the deeper brown shade, gave a little bit of an ombre look without having to do the lip liner business, which I really appreciate and I like. So, there you go. It's so comfortable. I might be tempted to pick up another shade or two. Again, I have to see them in person. I am waiting until these are available in store so I can check them out. And I think they're going to be in store sometime in July. So I'm gonna hold out. Again, I'm waiting for my Sephora little dude. Again, I'm waiting for my Sephora gift card because I have to get one of those cards with my points. The packaging also has the heart on top, that little mylar heart. For the lip products, I feel like they're gonna lean into the hearts for the lip product. The daisies will be for the cheeks, and then the star will be for the eye products, which makes so much sense, and that's such a fun spin on the packaging. Which, let's talk about the packaging now that we've applied everything. Everything looks great. Let's talk about the overall vibe and the packaging and all that, what I think. So overall, the vibe of the brand, it's definitely different than the 2010s Marc Jacobs, okay? That Marc Jacobs had sleek packaging, stellar formulations. Their foundations were my favorites at the time. I love their foundations. I always found a really great shade match. They had a liquid foundation as well as a cream foundation. They both worked perfectly on my skin. Their cream foundation is actually really stellar. And then they had a cream pot concealer that was also great. Loved those formulations. Their bronzer was also a great bronzer for me. At the time, their shade range wasn't very great, so I'm happy to see that the shade range is living up to the new age, okay? We're looking for shade range now when it comes to products. We want inclusivity. If you're doing a bronzer, make sure everyone can use a bronzer. Now, hot take, I don't think every product is for everyone. I don't think everybody needs a bronzer. A bronzer is meant to add warmth, right? And I think that's where we conflate bronzer and sculpting products. Sculpting products add shape and dimension. So those definitely need to be a richer, deeper tone, right? So those need to go close to skin tone matches, right? But for a bronzer, it's meant to add warmth and kind of glow to the skin. So does that necessarily need to be a rich, dark shade? I don't know. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. And also bronzers on like really pale skin, they almost have to border on rosy. So again, I don't know how to navigate the two, but I'm glad to see shade ranges actually being more inclusive. So glad to see the shade range. And like I said, the bronzer formula of yesteryear from Marc Jacobs, stellar. The single eyeshadows, especially the mattes, really beautiful, blendable, nice formulation. The new formulation is definitely different. And overall, the aesthetic of the brand, the vibe of the brand has switched. And I am perfectly fine with that. Like I said, I enjoyed the 2010s Marc Jacobs, and now I'm enjoying the 2020s Marc Jacobs. Here's the thing that people have been talking about. The packaging, they say, is childish, it's gauche, it's gaudy, it looks too clunky and too bulky. And I have a different thought, okay? I don't think everything that's cute is for children. I mean, why is it that adults can't enjoy you know what, hold on. This may come off really wrong, oh my God. Let me choose my words well, all right? Just because something is playful, that's what I wanna get into, not childlike, because I don't think the packaging is childish or childlike. I think the packaging is playful. And I feel like adults can still lean into the playful and colorful and fun associated with this type of packaging. So I don't think it is childlike. As I said, the Marc Jacobs Daisy perfumes, I have the yellow, do I have it? The yellow one and the blue one, which was my signature. Marc Jacobs Daisy, the blue one was my signature perfume for so long. That was like my signature scent. If you smell me, that's what I smell like. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is, the packaging is definitely playful. I don't think it's childlike, and I need us to differentiate. Being colorful and bold is not isolated to children only. Adults can still have fun. And I love that Marc Jacobs took it there, because they're a brand that can take it there because they already have fun packaging, right? I love everything about the packaging except for the size of the blush sticks. So the eyeshadows, even though this is a bulkier, you know, compact, I still like it because it gives the little inflated balloon look. Storing this is gonna be a little bit of a bitch, but I have enough to store this, you know what I'm saying? And I love the little twist out. Oh, that's so cute. And it does have a flat back, so it will lay flat if you store it like that in a drawer, but I'm gonna store them upright next to each other. They'll be fine. and they're not, are they magnetic? I don't know if it's just a hinge, but love the packaging. I think the detail with the color coding is really beautiful. I can read the actual words. The eyeshadows, stunning, love them. Like I complained about already, I think the blush tube is a little bit thick. It's a little bit wide, right? I feel like it could have been, you know, a little smaller, because really the actual product is just the small twist up. So I feel like they could have minimized on this a little bit more, but I still love it, and I will still store it in my little drawer. And this one gets a little smudgy and dirty because of the color, but I still love it. It's pretty. I'm just gonna wipe her down right now. And the soft touch finish I also like, but there are some complaints about this specific packaging. For the lipsticks, I think these are really cute too. The heart shape is a little bit bulkier, but it's still small, right? Other lipsticks are this size, and I love the little heart design on the bottom. The only thing that I wish is that we had color-coded labels that would have elevated this a bit so I could know the colors much better, but I only have 2, and that's all right. Also, the color coding on the blush sticks. Now, the eyeliners, I'm gonna complain about these. Yeah, it's sharpenable, great, love that. I love that it's not a twist up, because sharpenable pencils extend the longevity of the eyeliners. They don't dry out as quickly. You can refresh them by sharpening them. And I love the cap with the star. Cute, right? They are also color coded for the actual shade of the pencil. The writing I can read. Here's the problem I'm having with the pencils though. The cap is not like the easiest to take off, because what happened is that as I was trying to take this off, it kind of hit the pencil and broke the tip off. Not good, right? And I don't know like what they could do different that would make this easier, or maybe I should just do the fast pull. Maybe that's what I need to do, the fast pull. So maybe that's just something you have to be mindful of, that if you try to slide it out, it gets stuck. So just do one of these, all right? But the real drawback of this is, yes, they're sharpenable, but sharpening these, a bitch. I mean, it was so awkward and clunky, and they didn't create their own personal sharpener. So if you're gonna sharpen these, get a really sharp sharpener for these. These are not the best to sharpen because it's not your typical wood. It's a plasticized material, which makes it a little bit more difficult. So don't love the packaging of the pencils, but the formula, stellar. I've already covered the formula for all of these products so far. And the bronzer, where's she hidden? Yeah, it's bulky, but the Marc Jacobs bronzer from yesteryear was huge. It was like a huge size bronzer. It was just oversized. Still loved it, still found space in my collection to store it. So I will store this as well. This one is bulky, but it's cute. It's my least favorite of the packaging because they didn't lean into the fun. There's no colors, just silver. And again, a shade label would be great, but it's only one shade. I don't think I'll pick up another shade, so I'm happy with the bronzer. Bulky packaging, but cute, fun, and playful. And like I said, I don't think it's childlike. I just think it's fun and playful. Will children be attracted to it? Yes, my child is already attracted to the colorful things. Anything colorful, she's going to go for because that's just kids, okay? They love color. And if you have your kid going into Sephora and grabbing Marc Jacobs at these prices, you got it like that. You good, you got the money, you can do that. And I love the boxes too, that they leaned into color. I love this from Marc Jacobs. This is just fun, right? And then the labels, all the information, everything is readable. I love the print and everything. So overall, I love the packaging. I personally love the packaging. You can decide how you feel about the packaging, but overall, everything is functional, everything works. The formulations I already spoke about. My favorite would be the blushes, which I want to get a couple more, and I may get a couple more of the lipsticks because the lipsticks are also really good, but I just don't feel like the price is necessarily worth it unless you found shades that you definitely love, which I did find shades that I love. So the 2 shades I picked up are great, and I'm gonna check out the other shades. I do love these nudie shades on me. And the bronzer formula, again, one of my favorites that I've tried. Now let's talk about the other elephant in the room, the names, because that's another thing that people are talking about. They're like, oh my god, they're doing the whole NARS thing with the names. The names are so suggestive, and then kids are gonna be drawn to them because of the packaging. here's the thing. Y'all need to manage your kids a little bit more. And if your kids are reading anything into the names of these products, you need to wonder about what they're teaching your kids at school, what their peers are teaching them, and talk to those parents, child, because what? The names, yes, are suggestive on some of the products, but they are innuendos, okay? And they're not as explicit as like Orgasm Blush from NARS. That's explicit. Deep down, girl, and what was the other one? Pussy something? Yeah, NARS has a lipstick called Pussy Control. Let's be so fucking for real. NARS, what are you doing, right? None of these names are as explicit as NARS names, right? And NARS packaging should not be calling kids in because they're just black and standard. But the names, all right, let's talk. The bronzer is called Legally Bronze. Is there a problem with that? I don't see a problem with that because it's like Legally Blonde is a well-known movie. Everybody knows that movie. Are people gonna think, oh, Legally is leaning into like age and appropriateness, and is she legal? And is that what it's leaning into, or it's Legally Blonde, like Legally Bronze? You see what I'm saying? So the bronzer, non-factor. All right, let's talk about the blushes. All right, Joystick Cream Blush Stick. Joystick. What do you think when you hear joystick? I don't know about you, but I think like the joystick for a video game. I don't automatically think anything else. You can hear the innuendo like joystick, right? But if your kid is thinking that automatically, again, worry about your kid. But I don't think that name is suggestive at all. Now, the name of the actual shades, like Papa Don't Peach, no question, that's not an issue. Pink Kink, you know, kink, your kid might ask you what does kink mean, but again, why are they picking up Marc Jacobs shades and products at the price point that they are? I know kids are getting more into beauty and they're going to make requests, but the names aren't that crazy. All right, they have Twin Cheeks. Twin Cheeks is such a cute play on words. Whoever came up with these names are really cute. Cherry Teas, they are suggestive, but unless your kid is already like speaking that way, I don't see that they're gonna read into this. Okay, Freaks and Cheeks, it's getting there, but it's not so explicit to me, all right? The lips, we have Heart On long wearing lipsticks. Heart On. Do you automatically think hard on? You might because you're an adult, but do kids automatically think that? Or do they have hearts on the packaging that they're gonna be like, oh, the hearts, heart on, that's so cute, right? If your kids are thinking heart on, then again, think about that. But I think it's cute. It's a play on words. I don't think they were leaning into the sexual as much as people are making it out to seem. Now, the shades I picked up, Mutuals Only, is a social media thing. And then Blow Stick, this is the only one that I was like, well, Blow Stick, but then you have Blow Pop, which is candy. So they could think Blow Pop and not Blow Job like you're probably thinking, right? You see what I'm saying? So it depends on like what's the mindset. An adult would think Blow Job, a kid would think Blow Pop. At least that's what I'm thinking. What do you think, babe?
Blow Job.
You think Blow Job? If I said the lipstick name is Blow Stick, you think Blow Job. As a kid, would you think Blow Job or Blow Pop?
Blow Pop.
Correct. See? And then the actual lipstick's name is Heart On.
Heart On, that would make me think hard on.
Okay. But look at the packaging. Just come right here, so.
It's a heart.
Right. So as a kid, you wouldn't think hard on because you're not that freaky, right?
No, not at all.
You would think hard. Okay, see? See what I'm saying? So I don't think how people are making it out to seem is really how it is. I think they were having fun with the names, and you know, it is what it is. I really don't see a problem with the names. I think the aesthetic is fun again, not childish fun. The price points is not given child, okay? Children need to be shopping for e.l.f. and NYX and stay out of Sephora, because what are you doing in there? You may get a treat here or there, fine, if your parents are, you know, letting you do that, but I think these aren't products for kids, and that's what it is unless you're giving kids this. And I think they'll only know the references if they're already exposed to it. I don't think these are going to expose them to it. So overall, I think this is a banger. The highlighter looks stupid, so I definitely didn't want it, but I'm not saying, I'm just saying it looks stupid, but I've heard some good things about the highlighter. It's not for me. I don't care. I'm never getting that. The blushes are my favorite. I also love the bronzer, and the lip products, I may get a couple more. The eyeliners, I like them. I like the formulation. I like the pigmentation. I just don't like the packaging. So that is enough for me to kind of stay away and not get any more. But I think the shades are fun. They are different. And it's something unique in the world of beige that we live in right now. The eyeshadows also, I think, are fun. The mattes are all neutrals. I would love to see some colors added there. And then the shimmers, you know, they're tame. I think they're beautiful. The formula is beautiful. Is it that special for the price point though? No. Did I enjoy the ones that I picked up and used and applied? Absolutely. The shades that I picked up, I think, are right up my alley. Am I tempted to get any more? No, not really, unless there are other shades added that are more impressive. The silver, the gold, the pink, I don't want any of those, right? And then for the mattes, unless they're colorful shades added, I'm okay with the matte shades. So for me, the eyeshadows and the eyeliners have like so-so appeal. For the mascara, I like the mascara. I don't love it. It's not my favorite. I do like how it feels on the lashes because it is soft. It does feel conditioning and it removes really well. I think this mascara will be like a quick everyday mascara, similar to my Urban Decay Tube Job. Now that is a suggestive name. Tube Job? Come on now. Right? But at the same time, innuendo, like why are you thinking tube job? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, because tube and mascara. Anyway, that's not the point. This is similar to that formula for me, where if I'm using it just for a quick daily wear, then great, because it is easy to wash off. If I'm looking for mascara that's gonna give me pow, pop, ba-boom on my lashes, I don't know what that was. I will use my Huda Beauty. So mascara is so-so. It's so-so. Not necessarily my favorite. I wouldn't kick it out of bed. It definitely did add volume and length, but I do feel like the separation isn't there for that. So overall, really excited for this launch. Really excited to see what else they have in store. I can't wait till they do complexion products because I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it's going to be as stellar as it was before. I don't know though, like, can Coty do that? I don't know, but so far I'm impressed enough to be open to see what else the brand comes out with. Let me know if you've tried any of these products out yet. What do you think? Are you excited to see the new brand? What do you think about the packaging, the vibe, the products if you've tried them out? What are you looking forward to trying if you haven't yet? Let me know, and hopefully this video was helpful in deciding the products that you want to test out for yourself. I will go ahead and leave links down below on where you can pick these up at Sephora. Those are going to be affiliate links, which means I will get a small sales commission if you make a purchase using my links. The YouTube shopping links are also affiliate links. Again, I will get a kickback. It doesn't change the actual price of the product. It just gives me a sales commission. So it's a great way to show you support for the channel because it helps me to put right back into the content. But if you aren't comfortable with that, just shop the way you normally shop. No muss, no fuss. I'm still happy you're here watching. So thank you so much. Leave me a thumbs up, a comment, and hype the video if you have that option, because that helps to push the video out into the algorithm and help boost the channel. So I appreciate your support. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.